I'm just saying it's a possibility. That is the new rules.
Yep.
Well, it doesn't say that it's been taken down. All right, great. I mean, it just said that
we're back
again.
Yeah. It doesn't matter as long as you got the lesbian comment in.
All I see is black at the moment.
I'm pretty sure he heard it, but I don't know if he heard the joke part.
All right.
You know, normally it says on the web page as well that although that's still frozen.
Oh, it's live now.
Is it?
Yep.
It is. Yep.
Well, can you see the hangout and everything?
Yep. It's there.
Oh, good. Oh, well, hello, everyone. So I don't know what happened there. I think it was my computer.
Or my bad jokes.
And I'm not sure. I guess we can continue. Yeah, well, let's keep going. It seems to be working. I guess my computer's still in overdrive for some reason, so hopefully it'll calm down in a minute.
On my screen, the image is frozen on the Hangout, but the audio is coming through.
Right, all I'm seeing is black on mine.
I see it.
You see a moving Hangout?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's working. It's working.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, audience. Hang in there with us just a minute, just while we try and figure out what's going on. Now mine isn't loading at all.
They're trying to shut you down, Jim.
They're trying to shut me down.
Shut you down.
Cynthia says we're back. Hi, Cynthia.
We're back. Cynthia.
She's the best.
Well, it's very difficult for me to see what's going on. Well, anyway, that was the romance that never was. Let me see if I can get it on this one. I've got so many fucking windows open. Ah! Oh, no.
If Antonio's going to keep moaning, does he still think it's all right to drink weed? Should we clear it up while we're here?
I don't know what I'm watching.
You're not watching it?
Well, I'm on that. Oh, sorry. Yeah, hang on. I found it now. Yay, I found it. My YouTube had auto-played onto another one, you know. I was watching last week.
You sounded so excited.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just surrounded by windows and the stuff's frozen. I can't really see what's going on. And, you know, just to see some stuff moving was encouraging. So, does anyone else have anything to say on that? Sorry, I'm getting very stressed by this.
No, you know, it seems like it was so long ago that happened, but it's so etched in my memory, like things that I didn't think that I would carry around with me long. You know, it's there. I can remember watching the sketch be done and just thinking, what am I doing with my life? You know? Right. And how is this man actually doing this to a person live? You know, like, and that people are going to believe this.
Right, and they did believe it at the
time,
they did.
Scott.
You know, they did buy into it. It was before your time, Scott, was it? Scott still with us?
I hope you didn't lose him.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it was before my time. I think I got here maybe just sort of after it, and I remember hearing people talk about it, and I literally thought they were exaggerating and joking. I thought it was all jokes. No idea it was real until I randomly stumbled onto, I think, Super Rats in a hangout, and he just started saying something, and I was like, holy shit, those were not jokes. They like blew me away at the time.
That was the best thing about you, Scott, is that you really did think everything was a joke, and we were like, no, we're dead serious. This happened.
It's just like, so absurd. I still don't understand.
Can't be true.
Can't be. People cannot be this way. Yeah. Well.
All right. Well, shall we try another clip? Let's hope this will work.
Yeah.
We're out of the danger zone in terms of copyright, I feel. So let's hope it works. So it seems that Patricia Steer is not the only prominent flat earther who is getting a bit pissed off with it all. Here is Globebuster Bob on Mark Doxey's Hangout to tell us more.
You put a video up today and allowed comments, and then you took the comments away.
Yes, I did. Honestly, you know, I am getting so sick and tired of the trolls. I'm just about right where Patricia Steer is, to be honest with you. Unfortunately, I blame, the stupidity being peddled on Nathan Oakley's show for that, because, you know, they're completely misrepresenting my point. They continue to insist that I'm saying something like mass attracts mass, which of course is not what I'm saying. My God, if you cannot see that,
Yeah.
that there must be a force causing that.
Yeah.
You know, whether you can wiggle it or not, and that's Anthony Riley saying, "Oh, you can't wiggle it, so it must not be real." You know, Quantum Eraser did this part where I know I can't stand that guy. Nathan put out a 10-minute thing with Quantum Eraser citing all of these relativist claims, you know, saying from such and such and such, gravity is not a force. You know, the only problem with that is that if you look at the other half of all the definitions on the internet, they all say that it is a force, and under the Newtonian paradigm, it is a force.
It's not just semantics, though. It's ego.
Oh boy, it's not the truth.
Oh my God.
It is, and it's going to be a great shame if Flat Earth goes quiet again for another 100 years, just because of some smart arses like Quantum Eraser, Nathan, and Sleeping Warrior.
Well, and that's the thing, you know. Look, as far as Nathan, he's done a good job of you know, swatting down the ballers and stuff like that. But where I really object to him and his show and Quantum Eraser is A, that he's pushing a relativistic, you know, Einsteinian type of concepts, for one. For two, the guy has no idea. I mean, he has zero science background whatsoever. He has no clue what he's talking about. You know, he doesn't offer any other explanations. He simply, you know, if it doesn't fit into his nice, neat little, here's your IVDV and your assumed cause, blah, 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 blah. You know, we've all heard it so many times it makes you throw up. If it doesn't fit neatly into that, then his conclusion is that it doesn't exist. Well, they're not assigning a new definition. Relative density has always existed.
But they're saying it is a force.
Yes, that's the problem. That's the part, honestly, that the ballers and mainstream science, they're going to take one look at Anthony Riley saying that relative density is a force, and they're going to go, oh my God, these people are the dumbest stooges on the face of the earth, making ridiculous claims like that.
Yeah.
And we talked about this in
It's happening. It's happening now. I foresaw this. This is why I took up Anthony on this argument very vehemently, because I knew he would be going to the school system in England and representing Flat Earth. And I said, "Oh my God, he can't represent us. He can't represent us with that kind of argumentation. They're not going to look at him."
Of course, but you know what? Science is done a lot by logical inference. They seem to think that the only thing that science is about is the experiment and being able to follow that scientific method. I got news for them. And not only that, we found the document that Quantum Eraser, you know, cited from quite often. And ultimately what it says is the scientific method really comes down to however the scientist decides to apply it, as long as you can come up with some sort of conclusive proof. And you know, it leaves room for people to try and go in and debunk it. Yes, so it is done by inferred logic, but that doesn't mean that it isn't 100% valid. And in fact, it absolutely is. And that is just as much science as they're myopic. And it's myopic. So we have to be able to meet mainstream science using their own terminology and discuss this with them intelligently, rather than to simply say, well, if it doesn't fit into Nathan Oakley's little myopic box, then it doesn't exist, because that only makes us look like utter morons, right? Mm-hmm. And then to exacerbate that problem, you have idiots like Nathan Oakley and Quantum Eraser that are cherry picking, and they absolutely are cherry picking not only definitions for gravity, not only what physicists are saying about gravity, like, well, it's not a force, but you can think of it out that way, and then beating that to death. You know, that just makes us look really stupid to cherry pick on that level.
Yeah.
Yes, it is obvious cherry picking. It is.
Right. Just like some of the comments this morning. This is one of the reasons I shut the comments off. You know, because they're saying, well, no, physics is pseudoscience. It's like, oh my God. That's what it has really deteriorated into, is even the legitimate branches of science, you know, like engineering and, you know, like what I do, electrical engineering.
Applied science.
Yes, applied science, the things that we can actually put our hands on. They're denying that outright, and saying that it doesn't exist. And it is because of idiots like Nathan Oakley and his show that are taking this myopic viewpoint this is exactly what is really frustrating the hell out of me, and honestly makes me want to walk away from it. It's like, I've tried, but there's so many people that are just, frankly, they're too dumb to learn, right? They just don't want to get it. They're all about the conspiracy, and I wonder sometimes, I honestly wonder, about Nathan being controlled opposition. Yeah, what he's doing is he's promoting a mob mentality that is frankly stupid. Jerry,
I so agree with you.
Jerry, and here's the other thing. The other problem that I have with this guy Nathan doing this is like, yeah, it's cool that he's able to make a living from it, but the bottom line is, and I'll tell you this for a fact, he does this for the money, and the second YouTube demonetizes him, and they will demonetize him, he's going to be out of here like a shot. And then what we're going to be left with is we're going to be left with a big mess to clean up of all the bullshit that he has, spewed out and made the gullible believe, right? The even more scientific, illiterate, and gullible people believe. It is largely because of ignorance, not stupidity, but ignorance. And also being brainwashed by people they see as authorities. And this is why I see Nathan and his show as a danger to this community. And not to mention the fact that it's probably going to be the downfall. God help them if they ever get to be the size of Globebusters, and the mainstream starts looking at flat earth berates. And I do call it flat earth berates because really that's all it is. It's late Nathan and QE losing their mind every 2 seconds on somebody. There's never debate. I mean, that's a joke. There's no debate there. There's no discussion. There's no civility. It's a gong show. It's a Jerry Springer show. And
flat earth derision.
Yeah, it shows you the mentality of the people that watch it, right? It's fun for a little while. Even I like to watch Jerry Springer for a while, right? But every day, oh my God, I throw up,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, and that's what I said also. I said it to Ranty. I go, you know what, Ranty? I go, in my opinion, you guys are too afraid of Nathan to go against him because he's going to go completely mental on you.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, well, that's the one thing. And then, of course, then you have Sleeping Warrior on there also condemning all these other people. But like you, Nora, he does the same thing. If you don't agree with him, he will hound you to death. And in fact, when he couldn't convince me about certain arguments about not only Nathan, but what direction up and down was, he started in on Cammy. And Cammy, of course, is nice to everybody, right? So after this course went on for several days, and he finally realized that he wasn't going to sway her, he then tells her to fuck off. Right?
Yeah, he told me to shove something up my arse or something.
He told her to fuck off. He told me to fuck off. He blocks us both on Skype, right? Because he's too much of a coward to even engage anymore in the discussion. Then he started in on Jaren. Ever since Jaren had him on for that show, well, Jaren told me, he goes, yeah, I get sick and tired of Riley every single day messaging me about how you're wrong. In other words, he's trying to turn Jaren against me. He tried to turn my own wife against me. He tells my wife to fuck off.
And you know what he said to me in the group today? That I was causing division.
Right. I know. What a freaking hypocrite this clown is, right? I mean, he is just so over the top. He is the one that is actually doing the very things that he was pontificating about, in relation to Patricia yesterday.
Yeah.
He is the one. He cannot understand, well, let's just agree to disagree. That's not good enough for him. He has got to, even if it goes into the realm of utter stupidity, like say making statements like, well, relative density absolutely is a force, which of course I can't even tell you how damaging idiotic statements like that are to flat Earth. It's much like his argument about, well, there has to be an eclipse every single month on Earth, right?
Yeah. That was awful.
He's destroying it single-handedly.
Yes, he's absolutely destroying it.
Yeah.
And you have idiots like Nathan and Quantum Eraser that are doing the same thing. Quantum Eraser is pushing quantum mechanics, and quantum mechanics is absolute fantasy land.
Well,
yeah, well, thank you, Mark Doxey, for introducing me to an entirely new experience, which is agreeing with Bob.
I know, right?
I
Yeah,
know.
He was so
Wow.
fucking reasonable and rational, made such perfect sense. And by the way, sounded exactly like we sound when we are criticized. I mean, the
Right.
same words and everything. It
Yeah,
was insane.
exactly the same things that we say.
Yeah, it feels weird rooting for him or whatever, but it's like almost like Flat Earth needs someone like Bob or more people like
Yeah.
Bob, to be honest. Yeah.
And then
Well,
you think back to when he talked about the size of arches and that being mud flood evidence, and
Right, and he was criticising Nathan. He's saying, "Oh, they reject applied science. They reject things that actually work." And this is Bob who told us that rockets are filled with helium.
Even so.
Oh yeah, right.
No, but don't you think that's more reason to not like? I mean, he can obviously use his brain when it suits him when he's trying to make a power play in this community.
Right.
He can
Well,
think
by the way,
rationally.
that's bias, Cat, right? Like it's his bias that makes him use his brain sometimes and not the other times that he doesn't see himself doing it. Yeah.
I mean, he was absolutely right, and at the same time, he was total hypocrite.
Yeah. but I'm so unused to him being right. Like that's the part that's so shocking. That's the part that's weird.
But
Well, I think because it's.
Go ahead,
sorry, go
Catz.
ahead, Jim.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that I think it's because, and I've been noticing this about when he got in an argument with Gerneral about it, but it's things like how, there's obviously a force. These are things that if you're just even a little bit involved with science or physics, then you kind of know what that means, and you know that there is at least a force at work here. And so it's like, I could see how that could bother somebody like him and compel him to, want to speak out against it. And like I said, for their side, you'd hope there was more people like that and less people like QEE.
Right. I mean, I can think of actually a few times with Bob where he's done things that, where he's made an effort to be honest and straight about things. But then of course I can think of a dozen other times when he's done the opposite. So I don't know. But
I'm not impressed.
It's great to hear them rejecting that argument finally. At least someone on that side rejecting it.
But it's not for the right reasons, though.
Well,
it's not for the right reasons.
Not really,
It's just-
no.
If they were friends, he wouldn't be rejecting it, would he?
No, and when Nathan went on to Globebusters and ripped him a new one, he opened that by telling Nathan how great his show was and how he watched it every day and how he was killing the ballers and all this. You know what I mean? He was a great big fan of it right up until that day, and then and now it seems he's not so keen.
Do you think he's another victim of the documentary? It definitely seems like.
Well, he did sound pissed off, and he did get a load of grief, didn't he, over that? He had that thing with Vegan Warrior, remember, about the whole Giants thing, didn't he? That Lewis has mentioned, and he was criticised for his role in the documentary and for taking part and for the gyro, and it's not been a lovely time for him recently either, has it?
Yeah. I said this last week though about when Quantum Eraser came out with that stupid ass Google Earth thing. That it's kind of like it's a good opportunity to really highlight how kind of ridiculous half the shit he expresses are, because a lot of people eat it up like it's like gospel, and
Right.
So I think this is another good. It's like adding to that opportunity with people like in FE going up against people like QE.
Yeah, I mean,
But,
I heard,
he spreads a lot of shit.
I heard Right the Hand the other day, sort of in an argument with someone, and they were talking about I can't remember what it was. Oh, it was, being able to see further as you went higher. And he went, so that's your cause, and I thought, this is just a normal conversation. You haven't even set up the whole you need to be doing an experiment thing yet. You just assigning that to it straight away as just part of a normal conversation, which is just really weird, really odd. But yeah,
I guess he got banned for that.
I'm glad Mark Doxey put that on. Really, it was good to hear.
Well, I wanted to mention one thing that I noticed that seems to be kind of a theme for me that I'm noticing is Bob actually pointed out that his thoughts are that once the money dries up, once YouTube takes the money away, that Nathan will be gone.
Right.
I think that says something to me. That says that he sees Nathan that way. He probably sees a lot of other flat earthers who are more, prominent in this in their live content.
Right.
He sees them that way as well. But he also, it really says to me that he's probably sat down with Cammie and had this conversation. Like, what are we going to do when we're demonetized?
Right.
Where are we going to go from here? So I think it's interesting. I think that YouTube really, the new rules that they've rolled out, it really has, smacked the flat earth. Instead of them being
has
flat
anyone
smacked.
actually lost monetization in flat earth?
Well, I mean, they're going. If they haven't, they're going to, because
as far as I've seen, they haven't at all.
YouTube has mentioned them specifically.
Right.
Several times.
They didn't talk about demonetization though. They only talked about changing the algorithm, so it doesn't necessarily push.
No. The most recent one that came out like 2 weeks ago, they did specifically say that their only recourse is to demonetize these channels, and it wasn't just, they're not talking just about flat Earth, but when they're talking about who they're going to demonetize, they are actually mentioning flat Earth specifically.
Right.
So it is a demonetization thing. Yeah.
Shit,
They've
guys.
just got to get rid of all the
what are
Trump
we
lovers
gonna
first,
do?
Trump supporters, then they'll go to flat Earth.
What are we going to do when they demonetize? I mean, I won't be able to do the show anymore. It's going to... Oh, wait, hold on. We're not monetized, are we?
How are you going to
It won't make any difference at all. I forgot.
Not that I haven't thought about it, though. Like, if Cortis was here, he'd say, of course, because I think of any way that I could make money on the internet. I think it's great, like, go for it. And I personally don't see why they would need to be demonetized, because I don't have a problem with them existing. But I guess that
there's
got to
be some advertiser that wants to target them.
Sure.
There's got to be. They've got to be worth money to somebody. Got to be.
I think, Sony and Nikon, they'd sell to them.
Yeah, right.
For sure.
I mean, it's like a group of the world's most gullible people. I mean, who wouldn't want to sell to them?
Right. I mean, there are flat Earth coins out there to be sold.
Yeah. You could sell
as long as they keep getting the super chats. That's the main thing.
Bottles of chemtrail-free air.
Oh, I mean, I just think that it's a silly thing, and I'm not going to, do you support it because it's helping with half my friends who say that they don't appreciate, the reason that they don't like flat Earth is because it's spreading misinformation and wrong science and blah, blah, blah. Or do I support the friends who are saying that I just want to talk about something. Why can't I talk about something, So right. I tend to lean with to the side. It says, I let flat earthers be flat earthers. Mm-hmm. I've always said that,
Yeah, I agree.
And let them be here.
Because what are we going to do if they go away? I mean...
Yeah.
I start thinking about my time when I was in Second Life, and all the sort of weird and wonderful types of character that you meet in there. There are people who are just doing business and are perfectly normal, and then there are people who are I don't know, pretending to be red pandas or whatever it may be. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And you wonder, it's I guess I don't know, where do you draw the line where it becomes spreading disinformation rather than just chatting about ideas,
But there's no, I mean, when is it even really a crime to spread disinformation either? It's like,
right.
Like, when do we start legislating that even?
Well, apparently it's now, Scott, and that's the weird thing, is that we're actually agreeing to corporations being able to, basically tell us what we can say and what we can't say.
I guess, yeah. I guess the extent, when it starts to become a problem, I guess the extent to which it causes harm, and I guess it's hard to establish, but if it does cause harm, that's where you'd want to start thinking about, okay, well, what do we do about this?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see how the flat Earth is causing harm, but I guess I could see how some misinformation would be like.
Yeah, it's interesting though that they always specifically mention them. Don't
Right.
you agree? It's isn't it weird?
Well, I thought about that.
It's the epitome of conspiracy theories, right? It's the what? Never mind.
Yeah, and I
But
think
I mean, it's
I think also it's something that they can say that they would consider is completely uncontroversial. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like everyone will say, like, "Oh, well, those guys should be shut down," like easily.
Yeah,
aliens
you
and
don't want to
stuff.
say, well, we're going to shut down these extreme right wingers because that's going to
they
get
do,
a load
though.
of questions, isn't it? But if you say we're going to shut down all these flat earthers,
Flat earthers,
nobody
right?
gives who gives a toss about them, right?
And then they just shut down the right wingers.
Yeah, yeah, and the flat earthers are all
It is a
still
dilemma.
here.
Yeah, I know. It's mental.
Although
No,
I have
but
to
I-
say there has been no Globebusters for 2 weeks, and
That's not YouTube. That's not YouTube.
and on the on their last show they say we'll see you next week. So
Well, it's Father's Day today. Happy Father's Day, by the way, if
you're
anybody
ruining
who's
my
a father.
conspiracy twit. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
I'm sorry.
I guess they'll be back
Well,
next week, but I don't know. Anyway, it was good to hear Bob calling out that crap.
Yeah, yep.
Somebody needed to, and
Seriously.
at least he's prominent enough.
Nathan's going to get his soon. You know it's coming. It's just a
He-
matter of time.
Is he not the most weird person you've ever experienced, like in your life?
Yeah.
Like, I think he is probably the most scary person that I've ever known. Like, and I don't even know him, just from online, and I don't think I would want to have him around me in real life.
Like, he has that weird, like, some part of your brain is like evolutionarily designed to tell you something's wrong with this person. Like, do not, don't lower your guard around them because they might stab you. Yeah,
right.
Like he could do that just to see what it's like. Oh, I just felt like seeing what it would be like to snap your head today.
Oh yeah, total psychopath. Yeah, totally agree.
I get a similar sensation with Antonio. I find it weird that you said you still like him. It was really weird.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Lewis.
Oh, he's madder than a bag of bees. That
I'm
guy.
just hoping that he doesn't make drawings of me. That's all. That's
Too
all.
late. He's already found your picture.
Yeah.
He's traced it out over the
Yeah.
sure,
What
I'm
shape
sure.
are your hips, Twit? You better upload pics.
I mean, I can't be the only girl that hasn't stopped to consider these things after Antonio brought them to everybody's attention. Like, I'm looking at my hip ratio. I'm looking at I got mirrors where they shouldn't be. I don't know. I'm looking at all sorts of stuff.
Well, right. What's next? Well, we started with a rap song called "Fight for Flat Earth," and it seems some people plan to take this literally. Here's more Antonio.
Type X if you think it would be a good idea for me to open a GoFundMe campaign. I don't know how you go about that, but I will learn and I'll do it. Open a GoFundMe campaign to fight MMA in a ring or an octagon. Rings are a lot easier to find. Anthony Riley for charity. And the winner gets to choose which charity. All the proceeds to charity. All of them. And there has to be a receipt and a video of the charity. Otherwise, he'll just keep it. Yeah? And it has to be a real charity that anybody can check. Type X if you think it would be a good idea. I'd love to do it, and I'm going to do it. Okay, I haven't spoken to him, of course. I'm just going to try and force him into it because people will be paying however much they pay to either see us fight, because I will video it and it will go up on my channel, or see for sure that he's chickened out and he's just a piece of shit. I wanted to fight Team Osman because I heard that he was a wrestling champion. Like, cool, brilliant. So, oh, brilliant. Ranty Flat Earth is here. Tony would knock you into next week, weak boy. Remember, I met you, Antonio. And then I wanted to fight Del. I'm glad that he didn't, to be honest, okay? Because, like, either he gassed out and it would be a lame win, or he'd mangle me, and that wouldn't be very good. But X, and it would be a 10-second fight. Weak lad. Tony would. Okay. Ranty Flat Earth. Brilliant. So we'll have a donation from you, won't we? Brilliant. Okay. Let's do it. Ranty, go and tell your fat boy. He can agree to it now, or he can agree to it through a video. Okay. Going to be 6 months. Okay. Yeah, 6 months. So it'll be Christmas time. Okay. I'm not in very good shape right now. I'm looking forward to it. I've been wanting to do something like this for a while. Okay? It will be terrific. Because you know how you said that you saw me, Ranty? You're a little short ass. Don't know what you're talking about. You're a little midget, dude. So I don't know what you're talking about. Have you seen Riley? He's a bit of a short ass too. A bit shorter than me. It's a bit shorter than me, isn't he? A bit pudgier. His center of gravity would be lower, which will make it difficult to throw him. Much easier to kick him in the face, though. It's so good.
Okay.
He needs to stop giving his battle plans away before the fights. He keeps doing this.
Well, I'd like to let everybody know that I plan on taking on Tim Osmond in the wrestling match. You know.
Just.
Well, you guys noticed at the end he brought up like center of gravity. It's like, yeah, I don't know if people realize when they do that, but I mean, if you're admitting to using this thing that you claim doesn't exist. So
yeah,
I gotta know. Did Riley say yes? Is it gonna be a fight?
I don't know yet. Ranty seemed very keen that there would be one. He was there,
Riley's there like, shut the
on
fuck
Riley's
up,
behalf, volunteering him for it, wasn't he?
I'd pay good money.
So your girlfriend starts mouthing off to like 5 guys, and you're like, okay, honey, okay, we're gonna move on.
I don't know what it is about Anton. Why he thinks. I mean, he just doesn't look like a convincing fighter, does he? I mean,
no, he does not. Like, who he thinks he's scaring is beyond me. I mean, even if he is a fighter, he does not look it.
And when he said, oh, he wanted to fight Tim Osmond because he'd heard he was a professional wrestler or something. Well, that is not true at all. He was in a hangout and it got heated, and let's make it a fight. And he hadn't got any idea that Tim was a wrestler. Tim then warned him, and then it was agreed. And then straight away, Antonio started talking about raising money for it. And Tim said, "Well, I'm not doing it if you're just using it as an excuse to get money."
Right.
And it never happened. So.
What, Tim wrestled in school or something? Is that what the deal is?
I don't know if he's a professional wrestler, but he has wrestled.
Well, professional...
He told me that he had some sort of MMA training.
Right, he has.
Gotcha.
He has done something. I don't really know what, but
yeah, because professional wrestler usually that's usually what you call the dudes who are like in WWE and WWF.
But I mean, like, all of this is like he's just trying. He just wants people to donate money to him. Like, that's.
Yeah.
I don't believe for a second that he actually wanted to fight.
No doubt he'll need a load of money for it to happen. Well, he's saying it's all going to go to charity, though, isn't he? So.
Who's going to hold it in the meantime? I wonder.
Right. Yeah. He's going to set up the GoFundMe, of course.
Yeah, I bet he is.
I think this should be promoted, and I think that many more of these should go down. Because especially if they're getting demonetized, this is a good way to keep making money. But that'd be pretty funny just to see, like, who's who of Flat Earth just going up against each other for.
But at one point in that, he was mentioning tag
is.
teams, Riley and Oakley against him and someone else.
Yeah.
No, Riley will smash him because Riley's huge. Like, he's in a different way, but he's still big. Body mass, physics.
It depends. Yeah.
But Oakley is like a pipe cleaner, isn't he? It's like blowing on you.
Can I just point out that fighting in this manner is silly?
Yes.
And dangerous.
Well, that's why it's such a great thing. I think they should stipulate it to be a fight to the death.
It's Terrible.
I mean, if you want to do it for a sport, you know, or you know, a profession, you know, to produce entertainment, that's one thing, you know. But I think if you're, you know, rank amateurs trying to settle some grudge in this way, it's just, it's not a good idea, you know.
I mean, as long as it's done understood, like the way that Red with the hand did with that girl when he fought her, that's safe,
Right.
and that was actually reasonable.
Yeah,
I mean, they wanted to do that, they could, and they, you know, was safe. And by the way, he was, I mean, as much of an idiot as he is, he was a very like stand up about losing. And
Right. I mean,
Wait.
well, he kind of was, you know. I thought. I mean, she
pretty
absolutely pounded him, didn't she? I mean,
yeah, she destroyed him.
Yeah,
I mean, which is
that's what he
obviously
said.
going to happen when he fights a professional MMA fighter.
Right.
The fact that he thought he could win is just delusional. But
Where did this happen? This is totally.
I'll send you a video.
Man,
I'll
you've
tell you.
got to see the video. It's awesome.
But at the
I'll
end,
show
you
you.
can just see. I mean, he's like, he got beat bad, and he's just, his eyes are wide, and he's just like I thought I had trained, but I was not in shape. I wasn't prepared, and like he just really got his ass kicked.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny though. You know how Antonio did this last time when he was trying to fight Dell, and it's the way he like describes his fight. Like, I'll never forget it.
Right.
He's like, I'm gonna kick Dell. I'm gonna kick Dell in the shin. And then when he ducks down, I'm gonna knee him in the face. And he's like, you're gonna get fucked up. Bro. You're gonna get fucked. That's your plan.
That's not really how fights work either, is it? You know, you can't plan
the first
them
thing
in
Del
that
I don't
way.
even think that this should stop at Flat Earth.
So, he thinks he's doing Street Fighter 2 or something like that, maybe.
I know. Then I'm gonna do a Hadouken.
Yeah.
Hit him with the super.
He thinks he's Dalsim.
Hit him with the fireball.
And the little music will be playing in the background.
Yeah, the 8-bit sounds.
Yeah.
Oh, we need this fight to happen.
Well, talking of fights, we've got a real one.
Oh, glorious! Yeah.
What happened?
We'll see.
Yeah. Where has it gone?
If you thought
Yeah.
Antonio's bad at fighting.
Yeah, somebody actually took it all literally and, you know, had a scrap. Let's take a look. Said not being ready to take a look.
So what's preventing me from going to the west coast of the UK and seeing USA?
Okay, let me ask you a question. Wait, no, wait, let me, no, I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna kill it. No, I'm gonna kill it because at the end of the day, when you watch the weather, yeah, do you ever watch the weather report?
What's the weather report got
I'm
to
asking you. Ask me a question, so I'm gonna answer your question by asking you a few questions back. Have you ever watched the weather report?
No, I close my eyes when the weather report
Okay, so
comes up. I've never seen one.
sometimes when they show the weather report, have you ever seen when it says visibility? Or if I pull out my iPhone and look at the weather right now, it will show me. Hold on, I'll do it right now.
From here?
Hold on, let me do it
America
right now.
or the moon?
Let
What's
me do it
preventing
right
me
now.
from seeing the moon?
Let me do it right now.
Still visibility, right?
Let me do it right now.
That's further, but I can see it.
Because
Why can't I see the USA? What's further?
the atmosphere,
that doesn't affect the moon, right?
It's a good point that you just made. It's a good point that you just made. But at the end of the day, you can see the cloud. It's clouds. It's cloudy right now. It's cloudy right now. It's cloudy right now. At the end of the day, and the more and the higher you go, the less dense the atmosphere actually is. So that's why you don't get weather systems at 90,000 feet high. How high is clouds?
How does that?
A plane flies at 30,000 feet, and that's always flying above the weather system. That always flies above the cloud system. So what are you saying?
On your flat Earth
That's
model,
why you can see that far.
On your flat Earth model, is USA
That's why you
further
can see
from
that
us,
far.
or is the moon further from us?
On the flat Earth model, is USA further from us or closer than us? It would be
distance-wise.
According to people, I don't know. Listen, I don't know. But according to
You
people
come to
who,
me as a fact. Now you're saying you don't know. This is meant to be
I'm
your
not
best
lying to you.
evidence.
I'm not lying
This
to
is
you.
your
I'm
best
telling you.
evidence.
If I don't know something, I'm telling you the truth. If I don't know something, I'm telling you the truth. If I don't know an answer, would you want me to lie to you, or would you want me to tell you that I don't know? At the end of the day.
Him or you?
Doesn't matter who you're talking to.
Okay,
Can I not
so
join in?
are
This
you
is
telling
Taker's
me
Corner.
to how to...
What are you going to do if I do
so
join
you
in?
decide how
He can do whatever he wants. He can do whatever he wants. He can do whatever he wants. But at the end of the day, if I don't know the answer to your question and I say that I don't know, is that better than me saying I don't know or lying and making up, you know, my own explanation? Oh, the moon is 1,000 miles away. That's just me guessing. No, I'm not going to give you false information. I don't know how far the sun away is. But according to people who have done tests, they claim that the moon is only around 3,000 miles away. Now, America is 5,000 miles away. So,
it's a promise box.
There you go.
Why do you want to go? Oh, come here, Mr. Promise. Come here, Mr. Promise. Mr. Wannabe Stuntman. Big man, you're hard, innit? Who's getting emotional? Me or you? Who's being emotional? Come here, you're meant to be here for discussing, telling me not to be emotional. You step to me and then you want to offer me, telling me to step outside.
Come on, bro, it's not
worth it. You come here to talk.
You got big talk. Step outside.
I got
Don't ever. Right? You hear me?
Are you coming here to throw fists or are you coming here to talk? Hey, bro. Are you coming here to throw fists or are you coming here to talk? Hey, yo. Huh? You coming here to throw fists or you coming here to talk? You coming? Are you coming here to challenge, man? I'm talking to you. You're the one who's coming here with the physical thing. No. Mr. Hardman over here wants to come out offering people out, innit? You're tough. You're bad, innit? No. I ain't winding nothing up, bro. He's the man that come with the physical threats, not me. He's the one coming, stepping to me now, pushing into my barrier like he's going to do me.
Let me answer your question then, innit? Let me answer your question. At the end of the day,
this has moved on from that.
Listen. At the end of the day, you asked me a question. No, it ain't moved on.
I did, because he wants to come here to Jake and throw your weight around, Mr. Big Man. Push your chest out, come, let's step outside. What does that make you look like? What, that make you look like a bad man? Does that make you look like a bad man? And you are. You go out offering people out, you're a hard man, ain't you? You're a hard man. You're a hard man, innit? You are so tough right now. You're so tough. You're so tough.
Stop it.
You're so tough. You just offered me out, innit?
I'm weird.
Do you feel tough and strong? Are you tough and strong? Where's your pole? Where's your pole, bro? Are you going to start swinging around your pole?
Yeah. Don't you want to learn about this?
Listen, bro.
No, he's the one who's been pushing his chest out, offering me out of the park.
That's ego.
That is ego, but yeah, he's telling me I'm being emotional.
I'd like to say something. The Earth is round. It has always been round. There's no evidence saying it's flat. It is round.
Have you ever seen the Earth round?
Yes.
Where?
In space.
You went to space?
Yes, I'm an astronaut.
Okay. I believe that the Earth is round.
Nice.
Not a ball.
Anyway, brother, as I was saying, you asked me a question. You asked me how far away the sun is, yeah? If I don't know the answer to your question, would you want me to lie to you and say, exactly? So if I'm being honest, then don't mock me then, innit? Don't mock.
I wasn't mocking
you. No, you mocked me because you said, I don't know how far away the sun is.
For your best.
I know.
I said on your model, because if you're presenting a model, you should at least have some facts to present as a fact.
I'm gonna give you the presenting. According to some people
Mainstream
who claim
tells
that
us that the moon is 284,000 miles
Well, no,
away.
let me
And the sun is 96 million miles away.
Let me finish what I'm saying,
And the
brother.
moon is 400 times smaller than the sun and 400 times closer than the sun.
Okay.
We believe that both of them are the same size, and both of them are close, 3,000 miles away, and both of them are 30,000.
There you go. He said 3,000.
Keep going on about you want to step outside, you want to step outside, you want to step outside.
I'm just going to talk to him.
Mo, Mohammed.
Oh, go on.
Bro.
Who's that? Arash. Oh, go on, Arash.
How are you, man? How long is it been, man?
Oh, go on, Arash. I'm following you, man.
Just give me a high five, man.
Yeah, man. You good, though, yeah?
Yeah,
man.
Remember when you were scared to come on?
Yeah.
Hey.
I allow it. Allow it. Your head's bleeding, fam. Just stop, man. Fucking idiots. Stop, man. Stop.
Idiot.
Why so
Allow it.
Okay, let's go.
Allow it.
That's 101, man. It's cool, man.
Allow it.
Let's go.
Biggest corner. What's going on?
Someone was over there.
This guy? They're both punching each other. That's what
About that guy, man. Hey, get out of here, fam. Get out of here, fam.
No. Have you got your stuff? See you there. Remember to put your legs. Huh?
I don't run.
It's a punch-up. Yeah, it's a fight. Stay there.
Allow it,
What does "allow it" mean, Cat?
Allow. It means like allow it. Like
Saying it's a good fight, let him fight.
No. It doesn't mean good fight. It means like don't fight. Like
Yeah,
allow it means, like stop doing.
Yeah,
what
it means
you're
let the two of them fight. It means one-on-one.
doing. No, it means stop doing what you're doing. Allow it.
Why would allow it mean that though? Allow it.
Why would allow it mean that?
It means lots of things. Like if you say like "allow me a pound," you're about to get mugged. Basically, if someone says that to you, like allow me.
Okay, in America though, we say let him fight, let him fight, let him fight. But that's sounds like allow it is like let him fight.
No, I promise you. Like if
Okay.
when a fight's going off, when people are saying "allow it," they're like "stop it." Like stop it.
Yeah, I thought that's what
That's confusing.
I know.
That's what Cat Earth is yelling out in the corners at 2 o'clock in the morning over there in London. Allow it.
So who won the fight though? I couldn't tell. Did they actually fight enough to see who
I
won?
could tell.
Lost the fight. Who was chatting?
The Flatty.
I've watched the whole thing.
Yeah, you could tell that guy got fucked up, dude. They didn't show him afterwards, but he pounded the hell out of his head. You knew he got fucked up.
There's loads of videos on this because Speaker's Corner get filmed a lot, obviously. He's like covered in blood, and he's being arrested, and all the flatties are like, "You're at fam, yeah, safe." They're just proper patronising him, like, "Yeah, you're good now." Like they just beat the shit out of him. It's fucking hilarious. And he threw the first punch as well. If you look back on it, he threw the first punch. That guy, like the guy went up to walk to him, he sort of threw a punch, and then he tries to do this weird thing. And it's not weird. He tries to like grab his leg, but like
Yeah, it was a bad move. He put his head right. He put his head right in here on this area, and the other guy had really great power with his. And he hit him like 3 times. You see him hit him like 3 times, and then the camera like it goes off frame.
Yeah, he got knocked the fuck out.
I stopped paying attention when the phone hit the ground. I was like, oh no, phone down.
He pounded the hell out of his head like 10 times, like because you could hear it and you could see like the position he had over him. Like he was just like, and I mean he could have had something in his hands too, but even if he was just using his fist, he really like fucked up his head.
I don't understand. Like if you're gonna push it like that, like the way the guy the global was, if you're gonna push it the way he was pushing it, you'd think that he would know that he would win. Like you don't push it like that if you aren't certain. You know what I mean? Like, there's no need to push it.
No, but he wasn't certain. He was like about to cry when he was like,
yeah, dude, you could hear his voice.
Yeah.
He was like offended and genuinely pissed off. He had like so much rage in him. He didn't want to he was fighting for his pride at that point. And
exactly.
It was really sad.
Have you guys ever been that mad at any point of your flat Earth life here? Have you ever gotten that mad in a debate?
Yeah.
I've gotten pretty mad too.
Yeah.
Like it's a weird feeling.
Quite recently, well, actually frequently when I think about it, but most recently with Riley.
Let me finish.
Yeah. I hate that. And I think it's like, I'm going to self-indulge here for a moment, but it seems to me like it happens to me more than it happens to other people. That I seem to get the person that's decided that the new way to have a conversation is to say what they've got to say, then wait till I start talking, and 2 words in, continue with what they've got to say. That just drives me nuts when I've always got to wade through someone else when I'm speaking, you know?
Yeah. That's the way it feels.
To be fair, Jim, you have been particularly unlucky. I've watched most of your things.
Yeah.
You always get some right.
I do get people like that, though, don't they? Just want to blot me out, you know?
It's because I think it's because of what you're saying. Like you're right, and they don't. They don't want to have to deal with that, so they just shut you up by talking and like spouting their rhetoric. It's just that simple. Because they've done it. Like that, Nathan's basically the king of that. Like he's wrong about 100% of the stuff that he says, so he has to do that to everyone.
Right? Yeah. True. But I think I could see myself getting in a punch up like that, getting angry enough with someone. I think.
Yeah,
it's just I'm so disabled I can barely walk, so it wouldn't.
It's
be
scary
because
you get that mad and you don't realize that you're gonna lose, man. Like you're not gonna win this.
Right.
But you just want it so bad that you can't see that, because just looking at the black guy and his attitude and his build, you could tell that he was gonna win that. You could just tell.
They said later that guy wasn't even the guy he was arguing with. That's another.
That's true. Yeah, that was just some guy who cut in.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right. We have that happen all the time too. Yeah. Like out of nowhere comes a new person into the argument.
I know, it's a dangerous place, isn't it? Speaker's Corner. Jesus.
You know what? It used to be somewhere that I was interested in visiting when I come over to England, but now I think I'm taking that off the visiting list.
Oh no, it's hilarious.
When I was a kid, and I'd grown up in little English villages, and then we were going to emigrate to New Zealand, and so my dad thought that we should see the sights of London before we went, and so at 7 years old, I went to Speaker's Corner, and I can remember now finding it just so disturbing that all these adults were shouting at each other. It was a really, really quite unnerving experience for a child, anyway. Especially with my background, where.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think anyone who likes the Discord, YouTube, like that kind of thing, like the arguments and debates, they would love Speaker's Corner, even if you're just one of the. You've got a lot of people on Discord who will just sit there and listen.
Right.
That's what most of the people are. They just want to sit and listen to these things. I can understand that. It's really interesting. It isn't that. And you saw how quickly the police came. There's always police all around Speaker's Corner.
And when he came on the radio, he was like, Speaker's Corner. He was like, it's another one.
It's not serious.
That's like somebody asking for a mod in your Discord.
Yeah.
Got it. No problem.
Give me a wrench. So true. That'd be funny, wouldn't it, if the cops walked around with big blue wrenches? Just calm down.
I think IPS
calm
sold
down
those
here.
once.
Well, it was quite funny because all the wardens on the park there, they wear like the orange jacket, and it was funny because when Riley was there, he was wearing the same orange jacket, so he did look like a park warden.
Oh well, it's been a long show, hasn't it? I think we should probably wrap it up.
Yeah, it's been fun.
It has. And thank you for being here, Twit.
No problem.
My lovely panel.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, my pleasure, as always. So, join us again soon for more fabulous flatness. In the meantime, if you see something that you think should be included in the show, please post a timestamp link in the comments section of this video. Or join our Discord server. The link is in the description, along with channel links for tonight's panel. Our Discord server has over 1,500 members, and we managed to keep a conversation going virtually 24/7. We welcome members with opposing views, so click the link and join us. Thanks again to tonight's fabulous panel, and thanks to all of you for watching. We'll be back around the same time next week, and I think we probably will. So until then, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Have a great evening.
Good night.
You're misleading the public. You're lying to people.
We are part of a giant studio set. All the world's a stage, and you're on it.
Jesus Christ, can suck my dick? Suck my dick?
Suck my dick, Earth, with that bullshit. But man's getting rude. Man's getting rude. You tell me I didn't say what.
I'm lucky to you, right?
It could be a what's it? It could be an onion ring.
A hairless monkey jumping through the vacuum, or a potato rock.
Yeah, if we dumped what we found right now, it'd be bad. It would be bad.
You can't have you can't have a flat earth and things making sense.